I've not hidden the fact that getting rid of Jadon Sancho is my number one priority when it comes to player exits this summer. And you're damn right, I'm sitting here in a Juventus shirt doing this video because something is finally happening. I forgot I bought this last season. I was sitting there going, I'm popping that on. Juve are definitely in for Sancho. I'm going to run through what the story that came out this morning. We'll have a conversation around the swap deals that I mentioned in the live show, but just something is finally happening around Sancho. Come on! I've not really hidden how much I dislike this lad. Seriously. Anyway, the story came from Fabrizio Romano that Juve have been making contact not only once, but quite a few times, right? And this is what the article states. Juve have had 2 direct contacts with him in the last week. They wanted to sign him last summer, but of course they didn't. And now they're back in for him. And this is where it gets interesting. This is from Sky Sports. Darmesh saying that talks have been described as, I like that word, positive. There is still work to do on the personal terms. But there appears to be a willingness from all parties to get a deal done. You got DiMarzio following up on that, effectively covering the exact same thing, that United would prefer to sell him on a permanent deal, 25 million's price. But that bit right there appears to be a willingness from all parties to get a deal done. Now, is that Sancho lowering his demands, gaining some sort of awareness that you're not worth those wages, and that if you genuinely do want to play in a top club, you're going to have to lower those demands, mate, to match the reality? Well, ideally, that's the case. Now, Juve were in for him last summer, and they come back in for him this summer. I think it's because they haven't agreed a deal with Porto to sign Conceição. I know exactly why he annoys me so much. I think it's the sheer sense of, is it entitlement? Yeah. Is it ego? Yeah. Is it a lack of awareness? Yeah. Is it immaturity? That's bloody all of them, right? But yeah, but Juve, I've never said a bad word against Juve. This is some sort of hate watch. It really is. It's either going to be United accept a lower fee, because you have to remember when it comes to Sancho leaving, there's such a value, not only in just Sancho not being there, not only in the money that we would get for him if we sold him on a permanent deal, but actually getting his wages off the books. That gives United a lot more leeway with what we want to do this summer with players coming in. Now, to extend that article, or just that conversation really, about Sancho, was this part here about 3 players from Juve being offered, maybe in a part exchange with United, for Sancho. And the first name on that list is Douglas Luiz. Now, I spoke about Douglas Luiz as, if United were potentially to look at a stopgap midfield signing, would Douglas Luiz be an awful shout? Premier League proven, that athletic midfielder who can combine alongside Bruno Fernandes. He would have played with Mateus Cunha as well, so a random little fun addition. But I don't look at Douglas Luiz and think, he's a solution, long-term solution. However, and I'll say this, I don't see Douglas Luiz, and I'll speak about Vlahovic and Weah in a second, I don't really see that as essential or vital to the Sancho conversation. I think there can be 2 different conversations. It's probably more the fact that if you're speaking to Juve about Sancho, then these doors are opened in the opposite direction. I'd definitely take Douglas Luiz. And I suppose it's when you reach this point in the window and then you look at a position where United need a player, and then you look at a player, you're like, well, I'll take you. Yeah, I'll take you. Yeah, I'll take you. Yeah, I'll take. And then it's kind of hard to decipher exactly who the right person is. I don't think United are going to have the funds that we need this summer to buy the midfielder that we truly want. So I think we're going to have to compromise and figure out a way to bring someone in, and maybe Sancho going to Juve, Douglas Luiz coming in the opposite direction. They paid 50 mil for him, but they're not going to get anywhere near that, not after the season that he has had. There was injury concerns. Sure, there was, but prior to that, he didn't have any. And look, in the article as well from Fabrizio, there's a couple more names that are mentioned, but Dusan Vlahovic and Tim Weah. It kind of feels like both of those names are just mentioned down there just for the fact that they're up for sale from Juve, and that's kind of pretty much it. Oh, yeah, well, United need a striker. Okay, yeah, just kind of throw Vlahovic into that conversation because they're just about to sign Jonathan David, and it has not worked out for him. I don't particularly want Vlahovic. I don't particularly want Timothy Weah. That's a personal preference. But I would take Douglas Luiz. And to reiterate, moving this lad on is the number one exit for me in terms of priority this summer. I think it's Sancho, it's Garnacho, and then it's probably Rashford. They're my top three. I think we've already spoken about this in the live show. All three of them above Anthony. Above Casemiro. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. But could this finally be what we've been waiting for? As I said, it's either going to be the fact that finally Sancho's gained a little bit of awareness and he's actually willing to lower his wage demands. Why didn't you just do that to stay at... Oh, never mind, mate. You do you. It's either that or United are willing to accept maybe a lower fee in order to subsidise the deal, or, and maybe it is that case, maybe there's some form of swap deal that could happen. Maybe it's swap plus cash. I don't quite know. But United have got to make sure that this sticks. Because if Juventus, if something happens and the conversations break down over personal terms, which of course they still can, they absolutely still can. But I don't really know where we turn with Sancho. We are very limited with the options that we have because most clubs are smart enough to go absolutely nowhere near him with a barge pole. Juventus, luckily for United, are not that club. Get this deal over the line, get Sancho off the books, move him away from this club, and get started properly with the sales. I know it's a tough sell for United this summer, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Garnacho, whether it's Sancho. There's red flags around attitudes and wages, etc., etc. It's not an easy sell. Just move them on, please. And I'm keeping this Juve shirt on. I'm going to be a Juve fan next season if they sign him.